Human nature is not noble, pure, or predictable. It is a machine of hunger and fear, ambition and insecurity, loyalty and betrayal, all moving beneath the surface while society pretends otherwise. Machiavelli understood this better than any thinker before or after him. He saw people not as they should be, but as they are, and in this clarity he found power. The modern world has dressed human nature in politeness, morality, and idealism, but the machinery underneath never changed. We still envy, still compete, still manipulate, still seek dominance while hiding behind virtue. These truths remain forbidden not because they are false, but because they are uncomfortable. To speak them openly is to strip away illusions that keep the crowd calm. In this lesson, we uncovered 10 of the most hidden, most inconvenient truths about human behavior, truths that Machiavelli understood instinctively. They will not flatter you, they will not comfort you, they will sharpen you. Each truth reveals the real motives that drive people, the psychological forces that shape loyalty, fear, and ambition, and the secret mechanics behind influence and survival. To understand these truths is to see the world with new eyes. You will recognize why people betray their own interests, why loyalty collapses under pressure, why admiration turns to resentment, and why those who appear kind often hide the coldest intentions. You will see why some rise effortlessly while others sink despite effort. This is not cynicism. It is clarity. And once you grasp these forbidden truths, you will move differently, more strategically, more calmly, and infinitely more powerfully. Let us begin. Fear is the primary engine of human behavior. Beneath every rational explanation lies a quieter truth. People act not from careful thought, but from the instinct to avoid loss, pain, rejection, or uncertainty. Machiavelli recognized this centuries ago. He saw that fear shapes action more reliably than logic, persuasion, or even loyalty. It is immediate, visceral, and impossible to ignore. Reason asks for slow reflection. Fear demands instant obedience. This is why intelligent individuals still make reckless choices, why crowds panic at rumors, and why even confident people cling to comfort rather than confront truth. Fear shortcuts the mind. It decides first and justifies afterward. The strategist studies fear the way a physician studies pulse. When you understand what someone fears, you understand the limits of their courage, the direction of their choices, and the boundaries of their loyalty. Fear of failure makes people hesitate. Fear of being alone makes them cling. Fear of being ordinary pushes them into competition. Even ambition is often fear disguised as desire. A wise strategist does not need to terrify others. Subtle fear is more powerful than overt intimidation. A boundary held firmly, a consequence enforced once, a silence that forces reflection, these create the tension that shapes behavior. People move carefully around those who cannot be manipulated through fear, because such individuals unsettle the instinctive power dynamics others rely on. But the highest mastery lies within. You cannot use this truth effectively until you confront your own fear. The person who fears judgment becomes obedient to approval. The one who fears loss becomes controlled by circumstance. When you understand your fears, you stop reacting. When you overcome them, you become unpredictable. Those who act from reason appear rare and formidable, not because they lack fear, but because they refuse to let it steer them. To grasp this truth is to see the world clearly. Everyone is driven by fear, except the few who choose to rise above it. Most people speak of freedom as an ideal, a birthright, a guiding principle of life. But in practice, freedom terrifies them. It demands responsibility, self-direction, and the courage to act without reassurance. And so, while the crowd praises independence, they instinctively gravitate toward those who appear strong, certain, and capable of carrying the weight they themselves avoid. Machiavelli understood this contradiction perfectly. He observed that people admire freedom in theory but abandon it under pressure. When times are calm, they speak boldly of autonomy. When uncertainty rises, they seek authority. They want the comfort of structure, the security of leadership, the reassurance that someone else knows the way. This is why strength, not morality, not intelligence, determines who gains influence. The strategist recognizes that people do not follow the most virtuous leader. They follow the one who radiates direction. Certainty feels safer than liberty. A confident voice calms more than a logical argument. Command steadies where freedom overwhelms. And strength here does not mean aggression. It means composure. It means the ability to stay stable while others tremble, to remain decisive while others hesitate, to speak clearly when others drown in confusion. People trust stability more than kindness, clarity more than comfort. The strategist uses this truth without cruelty. He does not dominate through force, but through presence. He projects intention instead of doubt. He speaks with rhythm instead of apology. He carries himself as one who relies on no one, and in doing so, others begin to rely on him. Yet the deeper lesson lies inward. If you want true freedom, you must become your own source of strength. Rely on others for certainty, and you surrender independence. Build certainty within yourself, and you become the one others naturally follow. People crave freedom, but they obey strength. The strategist becomes free by becoming strong and gains influence because others sense it. People speak of loyalty as if it were sacred, unbreakable, rooted in virtue. But Machiavelli knew the truth. Loyalty lasts only as long as it serves the individual who offers it. It is not a moral promise, it is an emotional contract tied to benefit, fear, comfort, or ambition. Remove the source of that benefit, and loyalty dissolves with astonishing speed. Most betrayals do not come from malice, they come from shifting incentives. When circumstances change, when pressure rises, when opportunity appears, when safety demands it, people rewrite their loyalties to protect themselves. What they once called devotion becomes inconvenience. What they once praised as allegiance becomes weight they are eager to drop. The strategist never mistakes loyalty for permanence. He watches not what people say, but what conditions keep their loyalty intact. Do they follow out of admiration or out of fear, out of gratitude or out of need, out of shared purpose or simple convenience? The answer predicts who will stay when conditions shift and who will vanish the moment fortune turns. Loyalty that depends on emotion is the most fragile. Gratitude fades, affection rises and falls, even respect wavers when envy or fear take root. But loyalty based on aligned interests, mutual advantage, and clear boundaries is far more durable. It survives because it remains useful. Machiavelli advised rulers to rely less on love and more on structure. The strategist follows the same law. He builds loyalty through reliability, competence, and consequence, not through expectation. He does not assume devotion. He tests it. He does not demand allegiance. He earns it conditionally and accepts it conditionally. And inwardly, he applies the same principle to himself. Blind loyalty to people, institutions, or ideals invites self-betrayal. Conditional loyalty, guided by values and strategy, protects integrity. To see loyalty clearly is not cynicism, it is preparation. When you understand that loyalty is conditional, you stop taking it personally, you start observing it accurately, and you gain the freedom to choose your own allegiances with clarity rather than illusion. People speak of power with admiration, but their actions reveal a different truth. Most do not truly want power, they want approval. They want to be liked, validated, praised, and accepted. The desire to belong is stronger in them than the desire to lead. They fear disapproval more than they fear dependence. Machiavelli understood that this craving for approval makes people predictable and easily influenced. A person hungry for validation can be controlled with a smile, a compliment, or the illusion of acceptance. They will soften their boundaries, betray their principles, and shape their identity around the opinions of others. Approval becomes their currency and their weakness. This craving reveals itself everywhere. People avoid difficult truths if they risk upsetting someone. They stay in unfulfilling relationships because loneliness frightens them more than stagnation. They conform to group opinion even when it contradicts their beliefs. Their choices are not guided by strategy but by fear of rejection. The strategist moves differently. He understands that chasing approval is a silent form of submission. To depend on praise is to give others permission to shape your self-worth. To fear criticism is to surrender your freedom of action. Those who seek approval cannot act with clarity because every decision is filtered through imagined judgment. Instead of craving approval, the strategist cultivates self-respect. He values alignment over acceptance, direction over applause. Approval becomes optional, not essential. And ironically, this independence generates admiration far more powerful than open seeking ever could. People trust those who do not beg for their affection. They follow those who follow themselves. Machiavelli would say that power belongs to the one who does not need the crowd. Approval is fleeting, inconsistent, and rooted in emotion. But self-respect is stable, disciplined, and rooted in clarity. When you choose self-respect over validation, your decisions gain weight, your presence gains gravity, and your influence deepens. Most people crave approval. The strategist chooses freedom, and in choosing freedom, he becomes the one others look toward precisely because he does not look back for their permission. Human beings long to believe they are rational, objective, and perceptive. But Machiavelli understood the uncomfortable truth. People judge based on what they see, not what is. Appearances shape reputation. Reputation shapes expectation. Expectation shapes reality. The surface becomes more influential than the substance beneath it. This is not hypocrisy, it is instinct. The mind seeks shortcuts. It uses visible cues to interpret hidden motives. Confidence becomes competence in the eyes of the observer. Calm becomes intelligence. Mystery becomes depth. A polished exterior often outweighs genuine skill because people respond to signals, not secrets. The strategist accepts this without complaint. He understands that perception is a currency stronger than truth. A leader who appears decisive earns trust even before demonstrating wisdom. A rival who appears uncertain is dismissed even if he holds superior knowledge. The world reacts to the shadow, not the figure that casts it. This truth explains why some rise effortlessly while others, despite talent, remain unseen. It explains why the persuasive succeed over the wise, why charisma defeats logic, why confidence outmaneuvers doubt. People follow images, they rarely investigate the machinery beneath. Machiavelli insisted that a ruler must cultivate appearance with the same care he cultivates strategy, not to deceive maliciously, but to ensure survival in a world ruled by impressions. The strategist builds a persona that protects him, controlled, measured, sharp. He reveals enough to earn respect, yet not enough to invite intrusion. But he also guards against being deceived by appearances himself. He knows that a pleasant smile may hide ambition, that humility may conceal calculation, and that virtue may serve as a mask for weakness or manipulation. He judges others not by display but by consistency, results, and reaction under pressure. To master appearance is not to abandon authenticity, it is to shield it. When you shape what the world sees, you decide the frame through which they interpret your power. People judge appearances. The strategist ensures they judge correctly because he crafts the picture they are allowed to see. Envy is one of the most concealed yet powerful forces in human nature. People rarely admit it even to themselves, but they feel it often, intensely, and without warning. Admiration is gentle and fleeting. Envy is sharp, persistent, and deeply personal. Machiavelli recognized that envy is far more dangerous than open hostility because it hides behind smiles, praise, and silence. People envy those whose success exposes their stagnation. They envy those who rise without permission, who display qualities they secretly wish they possessed. They envy confidence, independence, beauty, intelligence, discipline, anything that reminds them of their own neglected potential. Admiration may appear first, but envy inevitably follows when comparison begins. This is why success must be managed strategically. The strategist knows that public victories create private enemies, not because he harmed anyone, but because his achievements unsettle those who measure themselves against him. Even allies can turn bitter when your progress casts a shadow over their comfort. Envy corrodes loyalty, distorts perception, and transforms respect into quiet resentment. Machiavelli advised leaders to disguise their strength until it was too late for rivals to resist. The modern strategist adopts the same principle. He reveals progress gradually, shares victories selectively, and avoids unnecessary displays of superiority. He understands that flaunting power creates attention, and attention invites envy. Subtlety protects. Quiet competence endures. But the strategist also guards himself against the envy he might feel. Envy is a signal, not a sin. It reveals what you desire but have not pursued. Instead of resenting those who have what you want, you study them. Their success becomes a mirror of your potential rather than a threat to your ego. People envy more than they admire. This truth is not meant to make you cold, but careful. Move with strength, but reveal it with wisdom. Rise, but rise quietly. Let your victory speak only to those who can handle their echo. Comfort is the silent enemy of growth. It creeps into daily life, disguised as relief, pleasure, and stability, while quietly eroding determination and discipline. Machiavelli understood that hardship sharpens judgment, fuels ambition, and strengthens character. Comfort, on the other hand, dulls instinct. It teaches people to avoid challenge, to soften their standards, and to cling to whatever feels safe rather than whatever leads forward. People say they want success, influence, or mastery, but they seek it from within comfort's walls. They avoid discomfort the way they avoid danger instinctively, automatically. They choose pleasant routines over demanding ones, soothing distractions over meaningful effort, and emotional ease over truth. As a result, they grow fragile, unable to endure stress, unable to face conflict, unable to act without reassurance. The strategist sees this clearly. He understands that the human mind is shaped not by ease but by resistance. Muscles grow through tension. Character grows the same way. Comfort protects the body while weakening the will. The more people indulge in it, the more they fear losing it. And fear of discomfort becomes the chain that keeps them from power. This truth explains why so many break under pressure they have no practice, why they avoid opportunity it threatens their routine, why they cling to excuses they would rather defend their comfort than outgrow it. The strategist, by contrast, trains himself through controlled hardship. He seeks challenges that expand capability, not recklessly, but deliberately. He chooses the harder path not to suffer, but to sharpen. He embraces solitude to strengthen focus, discipline to strengthen resolve, and silence to strengthen clarity. While others demand motivation, the strategist builds endurance. Comfort becomes a tool he uses sparingly, not a state he worships. Machiavelli would say that fortune favors the disciplined, not the delicate. Those who rely on comfort for stability crumble when it disappears. Those who rely on self-mastery carry stability with them. Comfort makes people weak, challenge makes them powerful, and the strategist chooses power every time. Truth demands courage. It forces people to confront their limitations, their contradictions, and their unrealized potential. And because most find this confrontation unbearable, they hide behind illusions. Machiavelli understood that truth is rarely rejected because it is wrong. Truth is rejected because it is painful. It threatens identity, comfort, and ego. People prefer stories that preserve their self-image rather than facts that challenge it. They cling to beliefs not because they are accurate, but because they are comforting. They avoid harsh realities by wrapping themselves in distractions, moral narratives, or convenient interpretations. In this way, illusion becomes a psychological shelter, a necessary fiction that protects them from responsibility. When truth appears unfiltered, most react defensively. They reinterpret it, deny it, or attack the messenger. This is not weakness, it is instinct. The mind protects itself from truths that demand change. For to accept truth is to accept the obligation to act differently, and action requires strength most have not yet developed. The strategist understands this deeply. He does not broadcast truth recklessly or expect others to welcome it. He reveals truth only when it benefits the situation, when the listener is prepared, or when the consequences of illusion become dangerous. Strategic truth is more powerful than blunt honesty. He also guards his own mind from the comfort of illusion. He seeks truth not because it feels good, but because it grants control. He studies his flaws as rigorously as his strengths. He acknowledges uncomfortable realities about people, situations, and himself. This clarity becomes his advantage, for he navigates life with eyes open while others stumble in wishful thinking. Machiavelli would say that those who embrace truth rule themselves, while those who flee it are ruled by circumstance. Most people cannot handle truth because they cannot handle the responsibility it demands. The strategist accepts both, and that acceptance becomes the foundation of his power. Human beings love to speak in ideals. They claim loyalty, integrity, compassion, ambition, but beneath these declarations lies a simpler truth. People follow their interests, not their promises. Machiavelli saw that words are tools of identity, while actions are tools of survival. When the two collide, survival wins every time. People say what makes them appear good. They do what keeps them comfortable, safe, or advantaged. This is not hypocrisy, it is instinct. A person may swear devotion, but if loyalty threatens their security, they will quietly shift allegiance. They may praise honesty, yet lie the moment truth endangers their reputation. They may advertise virtue, yet act in ways that protect their ego or desire. The strategist does not judge this behavior. He studies it. He He learns that the real measure of a person lies not in their speeches, but in the patterns that repeat when pressure is applied. What they choose when tempted, threatened, or offered opportunity reveals their true nature more than any stated principle. This truth gives the strategist a significant advantage. He listens to promises politely, but invests trust only in behavior. He aligns interests rather than relying on good intentions. He understands that if someone's benefit is tied to his success, they will support him. If not, they will drift. He structures alliances, agreements, and expectations around this reality, not around sentiment. Machiavelli advised rulers to build systems that ensure people act in accordance with the ruler's goals, regardless of their private feelings. The modern strategist applies the same principle. Create conditions where mutual benefit makes loyalty practical, not philosophical. This truth also guides the strategist inward. He examines his own motivations with the same clarity. He asks not what he wishes to value, but what he consistently chooses. Self-awareness requires acknowledging hidden interests, comfort, pride, ambition, security, and mastering them rather than disguising them. Understanding that people follow interests frees you from disappointment and illusion. You stop expecting consistency from inconsistent people. You stop misreading intentions. You stop taking betrayal personally. People follow their interests. The strategist ensures those interests point toward him and protects his own with unclouded awareness. This final truth is the root from which all human behavior grows. Every person, no matter how humble or destructive, sees themselves as the protagonist of their own narrative. They justify their actions, rewrite their past, and frame their motives in ways that preserve the illusion of righteousness. Machiavelli understood that people rarely admit fault not because they are malicious, but because their identity depends on believing they acted correctly. This self-heroic lens shapes everything: loyalty, betrayal, generosity, cruelty. A person who harms you will explain to themselves why they were right to do so. A rival who envies you will convince themselves that you deserved misfortune. Even those who manipulate or deceive will craft a story where they appear justified, forced by circumstance, misunderstood, or morally superior. No one imagines themselves as the villain. They reshape reality to protect their self-image. The strategist uses this truth to predict behavior with remarkable precision. He understands that people must preserve their personal narrative at all costs, threaten their identity, and they become defensive. Affirm it, and they become cooperative. Influence becomes easier when you allow others to feel heroic within your design. This truth also becomes a warning. Never expect someone to see themselves as the one at fault. Apologies, accountability, and introspection are rare because they require shattering the internal myth of heroism. The strategist does not rely on people to admit wrongdoing. He relies on incentives, boundaries, and structure. But the deepest mastery lies in turning this truth inward. The strategist examines his own self-story ruthlessly. He questions his motives, challenges his excuses, and refuses to hide behind comforting narratives. This self-scrutiny grants him clarity others never achieve. While they protect their illusion, he sharpens his reality. Every person believes they are the hero. The strategist becomes powerful because he chooses truth over fantasy and understands the fantasies of everyone else.